So now we're going to be going over legs. We broke it down by basically sections. We're going to start with the lunge section. So we're going to start with the most common one, which is the forward lunge, which should be the easiest for all of us to do. So with all of these movements, we do have dumbbells that we're holding for them. So Cassie is starting in basically a shoulder width apart stance. She's going to take a big step out as far as she can go. Then she's going to drop down into basically 90-degree angles with both knees, push back off of her heel, and come back to start. Okay, so big step out. Good, come down 90 and come right back. So as you notice, she's pushing off of her heel when she comes back. That helps to get her back to start. If you push off your toes, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult as we do this. And you can do this, you can do walking lunges, you can do them stationary, either way, they're both working the same thing. The next one that we're going to go over is reverse lunges. So basically we're just doing the opposite of what we just did. So starting position is exactly the same. We're starting about shoulder width apart. Now what we're going to take a big step backwards as far as she can go, and she's going down into that same position, just in a backwards motion now. And again, weights are at her sides, so she is not holding them up, she's not holding them out, she's holding them directly at her side. Okay, and you can relax. The next one that we're going to go into is a side lunge. For this one, a lot of times I have either people hold one dumbbell, you can hold both to the side. You can kind of mix this one up a little bit more for whatever your preference is. For this demonstration, we'll keep both dumbbells to the side. So what she's going to do, she's going to step out as far as she can to one side. Good, and as you notice, she's kept that foot straight. You want to make sure that this foot that's stepping out is staying straight. She's going to lean towards that leg, push off, and come right back to start. And then she's going to come right back out and come right back to start. So this leg as she's coming out is bending, she's leaning towards it, and then as you notice over here, as she steps out, this leg is staying straight. Okay, so she's actually extending this leg as we're doing it. Okay. Next one that we're going to do is we're going to do a transverse lunge. So again, this is another one that you can either do with one dumbbell, two dumbbells, or no dumbbells. For our purposes, again, we'll do it with two. You're going to start just like we have for all the other ones, same position, about shoulder width apart. This time we're moving across different planes of motion. So what Cassie is going to do, she's going to take a big step backwards. She's going to point that toe towards the opposite wall, and then she's going to lean back towards the foot that just took the step back, and then come back to starting position. So she's going back as far as she can, toe points in the opposite direction, and then comes back to start. If you need to think about something, basically she's making a big L, right? She's making a big L with her feet. So that's staying straight, and then that foot is turning straight out. Okay, and you can relax. The next one that we're going to go into is a curtsy lunge. So for this one, I do recommend two dumbbells for this one. Curtsy lunge, what you're going to do, again, same starting position. She's going to take a big step back, but at the same time, she's also going to go to the side behind that leg. Come down again to about 90 degrees with both legs, and then she's going to come right back to start. So if you're someone who's just starting out working out, maybe you're just trying lunges, this is one that I may hold off on a little bit before, until you get down forward and reverse lunges, and then we can progress to this one. This is a little bit more difficult of a lunge for everybody. The next one that we're going to go into is called the runner's lunge. So for this, it's going to look a lot like a reverse lunge. So Cassie's going to go ahead and take a big step back.
And switch.
Except the difference is she's not bending that back leg. So that back leg is staying as straight as it can, and then she's coming right back up to start. So she's going back, that leg is staying straight, and then she's coming right back up to start. Again, as you notice, as she's doing this for all of them, her back is staying nice and straight, nice and aligned. She's not leaning over, she's not bowing. There's basically perfect alignment as she's doing all these lunges. Okay? The last one that we're going to go over is a split stance. So this is the only one where you're starting in a different position. So one foot's going to start in front, one foot's going to start behind in a split stance. Now what Cassie's going to do, she's going to drop down until her legs get 90-degree angles for both of them, and she's going to come right back up. So for these, you want to stay on the same side. So whether it's time, whether it's reps, you want to stay on the same side for whatever it is, and then switch to the other one. So basically she's just not coming out of that forward lunge, she's just staying right in place. Okay, so that's a bunch of lunges for us. Now we're gonna go into squats. The first squat that we're gonna do, we wanna make sure that our feet are pointed nice and straight. As we, basically where our feet go, the rest of our lower body is gonna follow, right? If my feet are pointed out to the side, now my knees and my hips are pointed out as well. So I wanna make sure my feet are lining up wherever it is I want them to go. So for this one, regular squat, you got dumbbells to the side. Cassie's just gonna squat down as low as she can go, and then stay back up. So just a nice and easy squat, nice and regular. Just like if you were gonna practice one at your house, this is probably the way that you would do it. Again, you notice her back is staying nice and straight. She's not leaning forward. Feet are pointed straight. Everything looks good. Okay. Next one we're gonna do, we are gonna do a squat to bench. So for this, if you don't have a bench, that's okay. You can use a chair, you can use a couch, you can use a bed, a lot of different things that you can use for it. For today's purposes, we're gonna use a bench because I have a bench. So Cassie, you can hold 2 dumbbells, 1, doesn't really matter. She's going to, again, start in the same position, feet are pointed straight. She's gonna squat all the way down until she touches the bench, and then she's gonna stand back up. So I don't really want to sit, I kind of just want to touch, and then come right back up. So come down, touch, and right back up. So as you notice, she's not sitting on the bench, she's not answering a text, picking a song, she's just touching the bench and coming right back up to start. Good. And relax. All right. Next one that we're going to do is bench out of the way. Sorry. Get that out. Next one that we're going to do is a sumo squat. So for this one, I'll actually have you put one of those dumbbells down. So for this one, sumo squat, we're targeting a different part of our quad as we're doing it. So what we actually are trying to do to start for this one is we want our feet to turn out to the side as we start. Okay, so Cassie, we're gonna have you start wider than shoulder width apart, so really as wide as you can go, and then our feet are turned out to the side. If you notice, I had her put 1 dumbbell down, so she's holding 1 dumbbell with 2 hands. Now she's going to squat down as low as she can, and then come back up. So if you notice as she's doing this, go ahead and keep squatting, is that her knee is following that toe. So I want that knee to come out to the side as well. I don't want that knee to still go forward. That knee needs to follow where the toe goes, okay? So as you can see, it's going down right over top of it. Okay, one more. And relax. All right, let's go ahead and grab both of those for me. The next one that we're gonna do is called a front squat. So for this one, we're actually holding the dumbbells up by our shoulders. You can either hold them like that, you can rest them on top, whatever is most comfortable for you, as long as they're up by your shoulders, that's all we're looking for. For this, we're gonna start in normal squat position. So feet are pointed straight, and now she's going to drop down into that squat as low as she can go, and then come back up. The only thing that's changing is where the weight is being held on the body, but the squat actually is staying the same. So just putting different loads on the hamstrings, on the quads, on everything that's being involved in the squat. Good. And relax. All right. Next one that we're going to go over is called a Bulgarian split squat. So basically, if, again, you may not have a bench, that's okay. If you have a chair, you have a couch, an ottoman, anything elevated will work for this. Cassie is going to put 1 foot on the bench behind her, and she's going to have the other foot firm on the ground. And what she's going to do is she's going to squat down again as low as she can go, and then come back up. Good, again, everything's staying nice and aligned, weights are by her side. She's got her toe that's on the ground pointed straight, so her knee's going down right over top of that toe. Everything looks good. And then again, you do all the reps on one side or all the time on one side, and then you switch to the other side. Good, and relax. And that's the squats. Now we're going to go into calves. So calves are one area that is often overlooked, but if you look at your legs, that's a huge part of the lower part of the legs, so we want to make sure that we're hitting calves. So one thing that we're going to go over is a difference between elevated calves and calves on the ground. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do calves on the ground. So Cassie is going to be holding 2 dumbbells with both feet on the ground. She's going to bring her toes up as high as she can and then come back down to the ground. Up as high as she can and then come back down. So if you notice, when she does this, right? She can go up as high as she can, but she can only come back down to 90 degrees. So she's limited to how low she can go, but up, she can go up as high as she can. Okay, good, Cassie. We're gonna switch, so go ahead and set one of those dumbbells down. We're gonna come over to some type of elevated surface, so you can use, for our purposes, we're gonna use part of the squat rack. You can use a step, you can use, again, anything elevated that's off the ground. For our purposes, we're gonna start with a 1 foot squat, so she's just gonna put 1 foot on the elevated surface, and now she's gonna do a calf raise with 1 foot. So if you see, it's doing a couple different things. One, now we're working one leg at a time, kind of isolating that one side, but now as we come up, we still have that same upward motion, but now we're able to get a different elevation because we're going down as low as we can now. So it's a different range of motion that you can't get when you're on the ground. So you can do either one of these, whether you're on the step, you can relax, Cassie, whether you're on the step, whether you're on the ground, you can do either one with both feet or 1 foot, either way, it doesn't matter. The last one with calves that you can kind of do to switch it up, because there's not a ton to really do with calves to work it out, is as you're doing that, what you can do is you can change the position of your foot. So you can either rotate it in with both and then do calf raises from there. So again, it would be the same type of position, just it's a little bit different area on the calf. Or Cassie, you can rotate your feet out a little bit. And then you're doing the same thing again, just rotating a little bit and you're working on a little bit different spot in the calf as you do that. All right. Last section that we're gonna go over in this video is gonna be the hamstrings for us. So with the hamstrings, we're gonna work a lot with some deadlifts today. Really when I do deadlifts, I like to do more lighter deadlifts so we can work on form, make sure that we're working on the hamstrings, make sure we're working on stretching, strengthening, and not just working on how much weight we can do. So the first one that we're gonna do is a stiff leg deadlift. So for this one, we wanna have our feet a little bit closer than shoulder width, okay? The point of this is to keep your legs as basically as straight as you can go. The dumbbells you're gonna hold out in front. Okay, for this, Cassie is gonna bend over. She's gonna bring those dumbbells down to below her knees and then pop back up. Good. And then as you notice, as she's doing this, she does have a nice straight back. If you are having problems keeping your back straight, something I tell all my clients is look straight ahead. A lot of times where you're looking is where your back is going to follow. So we wanna make sure that as we're training ourselves on how to do this, that we're looking in the right direction. Okay? You should feel a good pull in that hamstring as you're doing this one. And you can relax. The next one that we're going to do is a Romanian deadlift. So there's a little bit more bend in the knee when we're doing this one. So I put my feet a little bit further apart. Again, we're starting with our dumbbells out in front of us. This time what we're going to do, a little bit more bend in the knees as we do it. And then we're still going to reach over, going down below as low as we can, down toward the ground. Good, and then back up. So as you notice, it's very similar to the one that we just did. The only difference is we're allowing a little bit more of a knee bend in this one, which is one that you can add a little bit more weight to. It's one that's not necessarily going to stretch the hamstring as much, but one that can still strengthen it just as much as the other one. Good, and relax. Okay, we're going to go over, the next one is a single leg deadlift. So you can go ahead and set dumbbells down for this one. So for this one, we want to make sure that you can get the form down before we throw in any type of weight. So for this, we're actually going to be on 1 foot. And what Cassie's going to do, on standing on 1 foot, she's going to kick the other foot straight back and then reach down towards the ground with both of her hands. Good, reaching down towards the ground and coming back. So as you can see again, she's keeping that back nice and straight. Arms are reaching straight down for the ground. And then that leg's coming up as high as you can. And then the one subtle thing that you can't notice on the film because you haven't tried it yet is that her foot is not touching the ground until I just said it. Okay? So with it, that's going to be the hardest part of this is trying to keep your foot from touching the ground as you're coming back up. Okay? You can relax. That's it. The last one that we're going to go over is a B stance deadlift. So we're going to grab both dumbbells for this. She's going to start with one toe lined up with the other heel. Okay, so as you can see, kind of making a V with your feet, you're lining up one toe so that it's in line with your heels down there. And then she's going to have the dumbbells out in front, reaching down and coming straight back up. So as you can see, again, a little bit of bend in the knee, not a huge amount. Again, her back is nice and straight, and then she's coming straight back up. Good. Again, we do all on one side, and then switch to the other side. Good. You can relax, Cassidy. And that's a little bit for how to hit each different spot on the legs. Give them a try, see how you like them.